about the divisions as
It gives me much pleasure to be here. I don't want to necessarily make a very long speech, but essentially to highlight a couple of things. And one of them, of course, is that ITC plays a very critical role in the Fijian economy. And indeed, as government, we expect it to play a much bigger role. Today, as I've said on a number of occasions, we have more SIM cards being used by Fijians than the actual number of Fijians. I know some of you carry 2 SIM cards. There are people, of course, who carry 2 or 3 SIM cards, some for legitimate reasons, some for illegitimate reasons. But of course, then we have something like 500,000 smartphones in Fiji. We have a population base of about 69.4% of the population that is below the age of 40. What does it all mean? It means that we have a country where people have a lot more access to technology, are technologically savvy, are very familiar with the new tools, with the new modes of telecommunications, whether it's in social media, whether it's in applications, etc. Last Saturday, I was at a gathering, very briefly on Saturday morning, where ANZ got together all the IT students, or the really ones who were really good, into a room at the GPH and divided them into groups to actually develop applications, apps as we call them, to see what sort of apps could be developed by these young, very smart, intelligent people that could actually not provide only an investment opportunity for them, but also provide very good solutions to our own people and of course hopefully for the rest of the world. M-PACE's program was written by a young man from Vanuatu. This is the kind of opportunities, this is the kind of talent that actually exists with us. However, in order to ensure that we actually take maximum utilization or take full advantage of this raw potential, we need to be able to provide them with the infrastructure that is necessary for them to be able to translate that intellect, translate that innovation that they have into a very tangible product. On the same hand, of course, or similarly I should say, we have now a number of companies that have come and set up shop in Fiji. So for example, they've got call centers, we have BPOs. I was just talking to a gentleman 2 weeks ago, they've set up a BPO in Dominion House. I did not know this, they've been there for about 18 months. They are now looking at working together with our universities to develop courses to train young Fijians who actually do not have, in Fiji we generally do not have people who are trained in the area of BPO, management of BPO facilities and BPO centers that actually do this processing. So we have a very fantastic opportunity, and you as Telecom play a very pivotal role in that. So it is very, very important, for example, that you are able to provide a system that, for example, is stable, a system that does not have any redundancy time or any fallout times. We must have the redundancy should there be any fallout periods. In the same way, we must be able to have the right technology and adaptation of the right technology. And you yourselves obviously will play a very pivotal role in that respect. This is why it is very critical for an organization such as TFL, and indeed any other organization, to be able to invest in their people, to be able to invest in their staff, invest in their personnel, so they are always innovating themselves, they're always reforming themselves, they're always making themselves a lot more relevant to the market, because the market is rapidly changing. Some of you, probably as old as me or maybe slightly younger than me, but you would know that we were actually brought up where there was no television. We do not have television. We do not even have mobile phones. Today, children or students in high school cannot do without a mobile phone. When I used to, I was a big fan of Muhammad Ali. I used to go and watch all his boxing films, and we were amazed. I remember we were quite amazed when Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman in 1974, that we were able to see the fight at the Century Theatre within a week. We thought that was fantastic. But this guy just fought in Africa, and within a week we are seeing the fight in Fiji. Today, people, if they don't see a fight that's live, they say, I don't want to see it. We expect everything live nowadays. So that's how much of a transformation our society has gone through. Similarly, we have people, for example, using social media. So this has actually changed our way of thinking, and an organization is as relevant as their ability to keep up with the pace of the change in society. Indeed, you need to be 2 steps ahead of that. So it is a responsibility of your board, it's a responsibility of your management to ensure that all of you individually are given the right tools and are given the right recognition if you're actually using those tools and actually providing that additional leverage to your company to be able to perform much better in the market. So this is very, very critical, ladies and gentlemen. As you know that in the Fijian civil service, we've gone through a transformation, a reformation if you like, in respect of changing not just attitudes and the way that we appoint people through an open merit recruitment system, recruiting people on merit, recruiting people because they're able to do the job, not because of their age, not because of their gender, not just because of their religion or ethnicity or province, whatever the case may be, but purely on merit. You know, we had the old system where, for example, if you were older than somebody or stayed in the system much longer than somebody else, then you were the first one that is entitled to a promotion. Now, that obviously cannot happen, because the person who may have joined the organization before me actually may be a very high performer. So therefore, he or she should be rewarded for that, and he or she, in fact, should be given the promotion ahead of anybody else who is not actually performing. So that is very critical for us to ensure that the organization remains relevant and also gives people specific career paths. We've gone through that reforms. Of course, in the civil service, we have also restructured the salaries now. We're going through a process. We have, for example, nurses, some nurses, because of the huge and specialized skill sets they bring, they've been given something like a 70% pay rise. Others have been given, for example, whose salaries are in alignment with the market. People say, for example, doing accounting, etc., within the civil service, may have received a 4 or 5% pay rise. Others have received a 50% pay rise, depending on the job that they're performing, depending on the level of responsibility. So now, for the first time, teachers and vice principals and head teachers are being paid based on the size of the school, based on the size of the students they manage, the number of students they manage, the size of the teachers that they have to manage, as opposed to everybody getting the same salary, as opposed to, going forward, simply giving everybody else a pay rise, even the non-performers. So I'm happy to announce, it's been conveyed to me today by the board, that your job evaluation exercise has been completed, and I understand all of you are getting a pay rise, and the board has actually approved the increment, which is, I understand, in excess of over $1 million, and that will soon be effected through from next week. So that is obviously good news for you. I thought I would have to say, please give a round of applause, but I'm glad you recognize it. But look, I mean, I think this is the beginning, and I think this is what we want. I mean, this is what that we as government are promoting, that any organization, you must actually ensure that the staff are actually being paid the right salary, get the base right. Once you get the base right, then after that, your salary increases are based on people depending on the level of performance. So if I, for example, come to work at 9 o'clock when I'm supposed to be at work at 8 o'clock, I take 1 hour tea break, I start combing my hair at 4 o'clock to leave at 4:30, why should I be given the same pay rise after the rebasing, going forward in the performance system? Why should I be given the same tick for performance as opposed to somebody else who actually may be doing their job really well, coming to work on time, going out of their way to actually learn more, to perform more, to do better? Why should that person be disincentivized by them getting the same pay rise as me? I'm the non-performer. So these are the things that we need to look at. Of course, if everybody performs, everybody will be equally rewarded. But the good thing is now the TFL has got you in the right base. So your assessment has been done or carried out based on comparisons with the market. I know at the moment there's been a lot of poaching going around. There's a lack of expertise in different areas. In, for example, some of the technical areas. So, you know, people are being poached from FEA, going to FSC, FSC going to, other private organizations. Maybe some of your people have been poached by other organizations. So the idea is to get the right market structure, right market salary. That is now being done, they'll be implemented. But going forward, of course, it will be on a performance management system. So I think that is good news, and we're very keen to support that. As you know, that you are ultimately, of course, lastly but not least, you are ultimately owned by the Fiji National Provident Fund. So in a way, you are working for an organization that you actually own, because the people who own FNPF are all FNPF members. So if Telecom does well, it will pay a bigger dividend to ATH. ATH is now majority owned by, of course, FNPF. They'll get bigger dividends, and then you, of course, will get a higher rate of return in your FNPF contributions. So please remember that. You are a direct recipient of how well Telecom does as far as your FNPF payout is concerned. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to once again wish you all the best for the year. There's some very exciting times ahead. I'd like to also announce, and nobody's aware of this, but we will be in the next 2 to 3 weeks organizing at least half-a-day affair where we're calling all the stakeholders, Fintel, Telecom, Vodafone, Digicel, all the BPO operators, all the call center operators, to see what we can do better. And I'm calling also the University of South Pacific, and we've got some interest from University of Hawaii, what we can do better, both by way of hard infrastructure and soft infrastructure, to position Fiji a lot better. Because let me tell you, if we are able to get this right, if we are able to get the infrastructure right, get the stability right, get the processes right, get the right people on train, Fiji has enormous opportunity in the ITC sector. Enormous opportunity. There's a lot of opportunities in respect of people doing a lot of back-end processing in Fiji. And we've had numerous people who visited us, but we need to ensure that the backbone is good. You know, we have had so many people come, they've talked to us. You know, I remember a company called Mindpearl, you may know them, a few years ago when they came to Fiji. And I asked them, I said, why do you want to come to Fiji? What's so attractive about Fiji? So they said to me 3 things. They said that you are in the right time zone. We're on the international dateline, 180-degree meridian. Secondly, it fits in well with, you know, the time clocks in UK, fits in time clocks with USA, etc. Secondly, you have a young population. And thirdly, this is something that I did not know, apparently we Fijians have neutral accents. So apparently our accents are neutral. Neutral in their speak meaning they don't actually have to spend thousands or millions of dollars to train our young people or people who work in these call centers to change the accent so some American or British or Australian can understand us. They actually do that when they go and set up call centers in India and places like Philippines. They literally spend millions of dollars to get these people to change their accents, so when an American calls and they speak to them, they're actually able to understand them a lot better. So that's obviously a natural advantage we have, and we must capitalize on that. And we look forward to your input, your contribution, to ensure that your organization does well, you do well. We want you to benefit. We want you to feel that you have a good career path, and also at the same time to be able to contribute to our country. Ladies and gentlemen, lastly, I must say this, Fiji has enormous potential. And if all of us actually work together and did our jobs really well and become patriotic about what we are doing, the opportunity for us to be able to become like a country like Singapore, in fact even better, will be enormously and realized in a very short period of time. So thank you very much again, once again, for your invitation. I'd like to wish all of you all the best. I'd like to wish, of course, all the recipients of the awards all the best, and those who have not actually received an award, I'm sure you've also done well, and you look forward to receiving an award next year. I wish you all a good evening.
Thank you so much, the Honourable Chief Guest. Well, there you have it.